Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. returning for new I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel. And yeah, I am not familiar with the franchise. I'm familiar with it. I have not seen them. I have heard that the first one is the only one worth watching. And the sequels are kind of like the second one. It's not horrible, but it isn't great. But then I've heard that the third one was direct to DVD and really not worth the watch.
Yeah.
And yeah, from what I understand, I know that it was it's basically Scream Light in a sense, is kind of how it was pitched. This was the movie that Kevin Williamson tried to get made before Scream, and then Scream took off, and that's why this one got made. So they're very similar to each other in the sense of just the style and the era that they came out in. But I do know a lot of people have an affinity for that first film. So them kind of coming back to it with a legacy sequel is pretty exciting.
Yeah, and I believe this one's based on source material. I mean, the original I Know What You Did Last Summer is, I think. And you can definitely see the elements of that kind of being almost sister projects in a sense, where you really do get the very similar elements that Scream has, just not as well done. Yeah, I saw the original I Know What You Did Last Summer. I remember ordering it on pay-per-view way back in the day. Obviously, riding that Scream wave of a lot of these kind of teen horror films. And I mean, it's a fun movie for what it is. It's not in the same conversation as, quality of Scream, but it's a good film for a random late 90s kind of slasher film. I recommend it. I mean, the sequel, yeah, you can easily tell that's a stretch to just kind of, get as much money out of the franchise as you can. Third one, I never did see, because it, again, seems like, it was straight to DVD, no returning cast members, I don't think. So it was just some, random, let's squeeze any money out of this franchise that we can get. So this news popping up to me was pretty exciting because I don't know if this is supposed to be a direct sequel and we're forgetting what the events of the part two. I
That
still
is
Know What
what
You
it
Did Last Summer.
is. It is
Okay.
going to be a direct to the first.
And so I think there's still another story to tell. I'm a huge Freddie Prinze Jr. fan, so I'm glad that he's returning. And we're gonna get more stories here. And I think also this excites me to realize that I think a lot of studios are realizing that there's a lot of horror stories to tell, and I think we're probably going to get some more. I don't know necessarily if we need legacy sequels, but I'm hoping that they maybe dust off some older properties that never really fully got their due and to try and make a go of it. So this one has me intrigued. I don't know what that quality is going to be. I think the director hasn't really done much.
She has a series, I believe. It's either a series or a film on Netflix that just came out not too long ago called Do Revenge.
Yeah,
Jennifer Caton Robinson. A lot of
and
people say that that one was pretty interesting, but again, I'm not familiar with it, so I can't
yeah.
speak on how it does for me. But yeah, no, I definitely am with you there. I think that this would be a fun one to kind of give the legacy sequel treatment, especially if you're going to get two of the original cast members back. And you're right, it is kind of it's got a fandom, but it's a lesser fandom,
Yeah.
I would say. I think a lot of hardcore horror fans really enjoy it, and I think a lot of people who grew up around that time are familiar with it and would like to see it return. But yeah, for a lot of the younger folks, it's definitely one that is easy to have passed over.
Yeah, it kind of probably got lost in the shuffle a little bit, especially the way horror struggled even, throughout the 90s, So, um, I think this is one where they probably looked at and were like, well, we can probably get something out of this, especially kind of negating what happened after the original one and kind of bringing them back to kind of tell that story. And I think that does make it more intriguing to see what Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. will be doing, after the events of that original film, because that leaves an intriguing story to tell, I think. And that original film, I think, brings an intriguing aesthetic, I guess you would say, in terms of um, when you're telling that horror kind of slasher genre, it's hard to kind of come up with your own unique voice. And I think there are a lot of twists and turns in that original film. that they brought there. And it's again, didn't really resonate, I think, with a lot of people, like general audience, but the horror fans were there for it. But I want to see what they're going to bring here. I'm glad that they're bringing back that original cast, and they make a go of it. Again, I don't think there's been a lot of talent in terms of writing. I don't think Kevin Williamson's coming back, but I mean, that wouldn't be a deal breaker for me in any sense, I don't think. So I'm curious to see who they're going to attach to this thing, in terms of writing, and I'm excited to get kind of a little log line to see what we're going to be bringing to this legacy sequel.
Yeah, where everything's kind of headed. That's definitely what we're looking forward to next. I do want to point out that I know a couple other outlets reported that I don't think Freddie Prinze and Jennifer Love Hewitt are fully locked in for this yet. I think that they were
Oh,
made offers and they are negotiating, but it's basically a done deal. Is kind of the consensus, but just in case, I don't want to sit here and say they fully are and then we only get one or the other, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
but yeah, it's been about a week since this dropped, so it's one of those things where anything could have happened, things could have changed. So
Well, listen, if neither one of them are coming back or just one of them's coming back, I say throw this in the trash. I'm done with it.
okay, I feel you.